Thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news. And today we have Usher Raymond being brought to the Barbie courthouse. Inspector Tekashi pulling a go-go gadget move on the billboards. And you know the wrong tool always comes out when you go-go gadget. Nori teasing the next big versus battle. Parternity test results are in, and you would never guess who Young Buck was locked up with. And we'll be getting into all of that. But first and foremost, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and go on and hit the like button in advance so you don't got to worry about doing that later on. Now, first up, Mr. Raymond is being ushered to the gallows as the Barbies file their razor-sharp nails in preparation for what Usher said about their queen, Miss Minaj. Yes, the singer-songwriter made a statement over the weekend about Nicki Minaj and Lil Kim. Now, during the Instagram live session between Usher and Swizz Beatz, they spoke about legendary versus battle during which Swizz mentioned that the crowd was eager to see Lil Kim versus Nicki Minaj. Now, here's where the superstar took that potentially fatal step. Usher stated Nicki Minaj is a product of Lil Kim, to which Swizz Beatz mentioned that Usher was already trending as the statement was coming out of his mouth. The Barbies responded to Usher's confession immediately, essentially telling him to not waste their time, stating that he was using Nicki's name for relevancy. And just like that, there was no love in that club. Now, I love the man. He made some solid hits, but if he could turn back the hands of time and say it differently, do you think he would? My answer is yeah, I know that's corny, but whatever. Now, you know it's not celeb news unless we hit you with the latest discoveries coming from Detective 6ix9ine, who has been conducting his ongoing investigation of the billboards and their wily schemes, bumbling into evidences like a modern-day Inspector Gadget, while Justin Bieber corrects his inaccuracies, if, in fact, that's what they are. And Ariana bends down and pats him over the head, telling him to humble himself and just take a seat. Now, after being checked by both Justin and Ariana, Tekashi breaks his week-long social media fast in what seemed like 12 minutes and tags Billboard using the names of Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj, saying to the Billboard, quote, "You cheated. Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj were right. People buy their number ones. Nothing is real. You guys are frauds." Close quote. Has me thinking about Tekashi's wig. Now, surely there is a psychological term for when people angrily accuse others of something they themselves are guilty of. Oh yeah, I think it's called projection. You know, projecting undesirable feelings or emotions into someone else or something else rather than admitting to or dealing with the unwanted feelings. Yeah, you didn't know that I knew that one, huh? No? You're not impressed? Well, check this out. Billboard gave 6ix9ine the dignity of a response by providing input on the total stream count for Gooba, 6ix9ine's claims that not all of his streams were properly counted, the Hot 100 forecast 6ix9ine referenced in his Instagram video, his claims that 6 credit cards were responsible for a hefty percentage of Stuck With You sales, his claims that Billboard would not disclose information about data when asked, and the metric calculation, how the metric calculations were tabulated and how it led to the results that week. So Billboard came out swinging, letting folks know, don't try them. And they are not the ones to be checked. It's funny, with all them watches on his wrist, someone still has to tell him what time it is. Now check this one out. Noriega, yes, the what super thug Noriega, N-O-R-E, teased a possible versus battle between the big dog himself, DMX, and the lyrical phenom, Eminem. Now, I know many of you just sat up in your chairs and dropped your spliffs. Heads are turning in shock. Folks are looking over their newspaper wide-eyed thinking, you kidding me, right? No, I am not, and this is not a drill. N-O-R-E posted on Instagram saying, quote, Swizz calls X and says Eminem is down for that smoke, and X say he can get it, but I still want J, haha, close quote. So the big dog himself is like, he'll take M and still has something in the tank left for J. See, that's my dog right there. And I don't care what anybody say. My money is on the dog both times. Yeah, I said it. Now, We mentioned a few days ago that the courts ordered Rick Ross to take a paternity test. And Rick Ross even posted in a video saying, I's the pappy? I's the pappy? Now, a lot of folks didn't know what to make of that statement in particular, if he was using sarcasm or if he was speaking from the perspective of, damn it, I hope I'm not the real pappy. Well, the results are in, and the court has confirmed, when it comes to Berkeley and Billion, Rick Ross, you is the pappy of both these children, and you know this, man.
Man, I can't believe Fat Girl took the bait. She took the blood test. Man, they say she damn near fell running away from them people when they came to make her take the blood test. She took it, and I'm the daddy, and I's the pappy.
Now cut to Rick Ross running off stage and into the back room full speed and falling to his knees into a couch with his face in the couch, and Maury and Camille chasing behind him with the manila envelope and Camille talking trash. And know this, Camille will find herself moving forward legally and will demand child support immediately. According to Camille, since Rick Ross got the boot, he hasn't paid child support and essentially said he'd be damned if he paid for them kids that he wasn't even sure were his, even though he was so proud of having them initially. Honestly, I think he always knew them kids were his. I think he wanted to mess with Camille a little bit because he has to know that it's considered highly offensive to ask for a DNA test. Don't believe me? Tell your lady you need to take a DNA test on them kids and see if you're not dodging shoes like George Bush back in the days. Now, last but definitely not least, we have Young Buck, who was on IG Live and kicking it with DJ Paul, and he let Paul know that when he was locked up, he shared a cell with none other than Future's son, saying that at the time, Future's son was 17 years old and it messed him up because he knew that he was probably going to be tried as an adult on charges of criminal gang activity, messing with the ID of a firearm, and criminal trespass. He mentioned to his uncle that while they're out there getting money, he was going to hold him down on the inside. It's nice to know that no matter where you are, even in a Georgia prison, there's a Young Buck out there that'll have your back. Salute. I respect stuff like that. It's noble. Anyway, let us know what you think. Should Rick Ross pay child support since those babies are his? Or should they get out there at 2 and 3 years old and hustle like the rest of us? Also, DMX versus M, who would be the victor? Is Nicki Minaj an updated version of Lil Kim, or is she in a class by herself? And can you dodge a shoe like George Bush? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be up to date with the most relevant information from Celeb Source, your source for celeb news.